Oxford Street, Manchester, and the famous Manchester Hippodrome, which was rebuilt in 1934 into one of the new Grand Cinemas. The opening of the cinema, named the Gaumont, was announced on the 21st of October 1935 with a special newsreel.
This is the Gaumont British News, presenting the world to the world.
For the Rhondda Theatre of the North, the Gaumont, was officially declared open by Miss Jessie Matthews and Mr. Sonny Hale. All Manchester, and their wives of course, came to the opening performance. Miss Jessie Matthews, on arriving, received a large bouquet from a diminutive page, obviously one of her stoutest supporters. Jessie and Sonny were caught by the camera coming down the staircase between lines of beauty, and if Sonny's eye had wandered from his beautiful wife, you really couldn't blame him.
Miss England speaking on behalf of the Gaumont British girls. We have all had a marvellous time in Manchester and should like to thank you very, very much. Goodbye, everybody.
17 of the most famous Gaumont British film beauties in costume depicting the beauties of all nations appeared in a spectacular tableau. And you really wouldn't be surprised if London thinks tomorrow what Manchester thought on the opening night. Now we'd like to hear from Jessie and Sonny.
Ladies and gentlemen, we accomplished a very difficult feat about 3 months ago. We laid the foundation stone of this cinema after the roof was on. Very, very difficult. And today again we have just opened it after the people were in. Of course, I could go on talking for quite a long time, but there is a look in Jessie's eye, which is generally a signal that I should stop talking.
Seriously speaking, ladies and gentlemen, Son and myself were very, very flattered to have been asked to Manchester to open your marvellous cinema. Thank you so much.
And here's wishing Gaumont's new baby a long and prosperous life.
There is a great mystery concerning the Gaumont. The theatre was built as Bernstein's first Granada Theatre in the north of England, but just days before its opening, the theatre was purchased by the Gaumont British Picture Corporation, and the name was changed to Gaumont. Why this came about has never been fully explained. Did Granada get cold feet about its location, many miles from its nearest theatre? Were they worried about competition with films from the very large Paramount Theatre, almost opposite? Or were the Gaumont British Picture Corporation desperately trying to increase their representation in the city? Whatever the reason, Gaumont British now had their most flamboyant theatre to date, built by Bovis Limited, builders to the plans of Beslin and Morrison. All previous and subsequent Granada theatres had their interiors decorated by Theodore Komisarjevsky, a Russian immigrant, who was a stage producer, theatre manager, and director of the Moscow State Circus. He came to London in 1919, and his imaginative flair soon had a great influence in presentation, acting, and lighting. In the late 1920s, he met a rising theatre entrepreneur, Sidney Bernstein. New cinemas were becoming larger, more elaborate, and with increased rivalry between the cinema chains, each was trying to outdo the other in creating a distinctive house style. It was into this atmosphere in the 1930s that Sidney Bernstein decided to launch his Granada circuit, with Theodore Komisarjevsky as his interior designer. In his design, Komisarjevsky aimed to provide the patrons with entertainment in the entrance hall, foyer and auditorium. He wrote, The picture theatre provides folk with the flavour of romance for which they crave. The Gaumont had cost £300,000, and the interior of the theatre was designed in Italian Renaissance style. Through the entrance hall with its pale pink stonework and into the red carpeted foyer, which was overlooked by the balcony foyer. This ran the full width of the building and was reached by a grand staircase that had gold-fluted walls. Green predominates in the decorative scheme. The arches were separated by pink pilasters with moulding picked out in golden bronze. Each archway is fitted with a mirror, which was balanced by a similar treatment on the opposite wall of the entrance foyer. The circle foyer was based on the Villa Madama Hall of Mirrors in the Vatican in Rome. In the auditorium, the decor on the side walls featured huge railed arch grilles, with the rails finished in a dull gold. The ceiling was finished in a coiffured design with attractive panelling and heavily moulded flower shapes. The Wurlitzer organ, designated Opus 2189, was shipped from America on the 19th of August 1935 aboard the SS American Shipper, and came via Liverpool and the Manchester Ship Canal to Manchester. The organ was situated to the left of the screen and could be raised to stage level for musical interludes. This organ was made internationally famous by the BBC broadcasts of Stanley Tudor, whose signature tune was Singing in the Rain, and who was resident at the Gaumont from its opening in 1935 until 1953. The cinema closed in January 1974, and the Wurlitzer organ was purchased by the Lancastrian Theatre Organ Trust, who, 15 years later, restored and rebuilt the instrument in the GRANADA Studios tour complex. Sadly, the magnificent Gaumont Theatre has been demolished. Nothing now remains of this magnificent theatre, except the foundation stone and the superb Wurlitzer organ. Unfortunately, the GRANADA Studios tour complex has closed, and this famous Manchester Wurlitzer is again in storage, looking for a new home, where it can be preserved for the future generations of Manchester.